kitchen and welcome to my channel Cake. I'm your hostess Suzanne. Today we're going to make this beautiful Kransekake cake. If you'd like to know how I made it and how you can make it too, just keep watching. Okay, let's go ahead and get this batter going. You'll want to make this the night before or at least 8 hours before you're ready to bake these amazing almond cookies off. I have a food processor here. It's just so much easier, you guys, to use a food processor. In this bowl, I have 1 pound of slivered almonds and 1/3 of a cup of the raw almonds with the shells on it. I like that combination the best. I have 4 cups of powdered sugar and 3 egg whites. And in the smallest bowl here, I have a 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. My girlfriend Carla asked me to make her wedding cake, and this was part of the cake. This was the top part, and this sat on top of a red velvet cake. I'll insert a picture here for you guys. When she asked me to make this cake for her, I said, I've never heard of this cake, nor have I had this cake. So I started researching this cake, and there's really not one totally full video or recipe that I found that encompasses it all. So that's why I'm here to share what I've learned. I think the 7th try was the right one. So it's trial and error. I had so much fun doing it though. My grandkids helped me do it. So it was fun. It was a bonding time. So I'm here to share with you what I've learned. And her family loved it. They've had this cake a ton of times and they loved it. So I have the approval of my Norwegian friends. Enough jibber jatter. Let's go ahead and get on with this cake. Again, you'll want to make this at least 8 hours before you start baking it off, or the night before. Here we go. We're going to go ahead and put our 1 pound of slivered almonds in the food processor along with the 1/3 cup of the raw almonds. We're going to go ahead and grind these now. The almonds are nice and fine now. Those look really good. Let's go ahead and add our 4 cups of powdered sugar at this time. Let's go ahead and combine those two now. Let's go ahead and add our 3 egg whites and our 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract and our 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. Go ahead and give that some mixing up. Okay, the food processor did all it can do. I'm going to do the rest of it by hand. And just going to make sure it's all incorporated together. When I make cookies that need to be chilled, I like to divide them into pan-sized amounts and wrap them each individually in some cling wrap. There are 6 different forms for this cake, and I'm going to portion this dough out to 6 equal amounts and wrap them each individually with some saran wrap. Okay, let's go ahead and get started with this Kransekake. I hope that's how you pronounce it. I've heard it a few different ways, but that's how I'm going to pronounce it. So if I'm wrong, I apologize. Kransekake is how I've heard it said the most, so that's what I'm going with. So it is the next day, and our dough has been in the refrigerator for overnight, actually for about 24 hours, and I have preheated my oven to 300 degrees, and I have sprayed all 6 of my pans with some nonstick spray. The trick with this cake is to only take out the amount of dough you are going to be working with. And now I'm just going to go ahead and start rolling. And you want to roll them about the size of your pinky, just a little bit bigger than a pencil. And as you roll them, as you fill up a pan, you want to put it in the refrigerator until you get enough to put in the oven. So it's kind of a multi-step, but once you start doing it, you get the hang of it. Enough jibber jabber. I've been doing a lot of jibber jabbering lately, you guys. So now it's on to a lot of rolling. And again, you just want to roll, roll, roll. And you want to try to make it as even as possible. You don't want them lumpy and bumpy. It won't taste any different, it just won't be as pretty. And basically you just take your form or your pan and just put it in there like that. That one's too small for that circle, so I'm going to go ahead and go down to the next one. Sometimes you'll have a couple different pans working at one time, just because you just roll at different lengths, then you just fit in wherever they fit in best. Just join the seams together as best you can. It's not perfect, but there you go. There's the first rings. There's our second ring of cookie. I'm gonna have a hard time knowing if I should call it a cake or a cookie. It's called a cake, but technically it's just a bunch of stacked cookies in a shape form, so there you go. It's a cookie and a cake, so I'm not gonna be wrong if I call it one or the other. I'm going to continue rolling and I will see you guys in 1 second. I am halfway there. I have 3 of my forms filled and they've been chilling in the refrigerator as I complete each one of them. So I'm going to go ahead and stick them in the oven that has been preheated to 300 degrees and I'm going to bake them for 20 minutes, but I'm going to keep a close eye on them to make sure they don't get too dark. And while these are baking, I'm going to continue with the other 3 forms I have. See you in a second. When they come out of the oven, this is how they'll look. You'll be a little bit nervous because they look kind of full. I've taken these out already. And you turn them over and they look like this. And that's what we want to see. I'm going to have them cooling on the cooling racks until they're completely at room temperature before we move on to the next step. Okay, the Kransekake is out of the oven. I took them out of their pans after about 5 to 10 minutes. You don't want to let them stand there for too long, but you don't want to take them out too early. Go ahead and take either your fingernail or a butter knife very gently and try to lift them up. If they start to act like they're going to fall apart, leave them in there. Let them go ahead and get firmer, and then when you feel like it's time, go ahead and lift them out. Don't want to keep them in there for an hour, but you don't want to take them out in 5 minutes. So I would say probably check them about 10 minutes. I know I just said 5, I'd check them about 10. Okay, so now I have them all in order over here, largest to smallest, very important for this cake. Don't want no wonky cake. And now all we have left to do is make the icing and assemble this beautiful cake. In my bowl here, I have about a half a cup of powdered sugar, and in this little bowl I just have some water, and I'm just going to go ahead and see how much water I need until it's at the right thickness. Let's go ahead and add some water. We're getting closer. As you can see, it's starting to drip off. That looks just about right. Okay, let's go ahead and cut the tip off of our decorator's back. We're just going to cut just a little bit off. If you were going to go ahead and serve this cake on a cake stand, go ahead and put a little bit of the royal frosting on the bottom, so when you put it on the cake stand like this, it will stick on there and it won't move around. I'm not going to serve this on this cake stand. I'm just doing it for this video, so I'm not going to do that, okay? So let's just go ahead and make our zigzags. Go ahead and get your second largest one and make sure you put it right in the middle. This is harder than it looks. There we go, 1 down and 15 more to go. And a zigzag or a loop, either one will work. I've seen them use different colors of frosting. I like the traditional white. I think it looks beautiful. This is what I did for Carla's wedding. I was so nervous. That was my first wedding cake, And she's like, don't worry about it, honey. It's just gonna be a nice little poolside service. I'm envisioning someone's nice backyard, you know. It's at a resort. It was at a resort. It was gorgeous. Oh my word, it was amazing. I was so nervous that I wasn't able to get this cake in one piece to the venue, which is about 20 minutes away. I made a whole nother extra cake. I had frosting in the bag on the side. I had all of these pieces in baggies wrapped with tissue in case they broke. So I was ready and prepared for a second cake to be assembled if it needed to be. It didn't need to be. This cake is actually pretty hearty. I mean, it's a nice, you know, thick cookie, it's dense. And this royal icing is like glue, so it's a nice sturdy cake. My daughter-in-law Caitlin is probably my biggest fan as far as eating my baked goods. And about a year ago, she went and got some testing done and found out she needs to eat gluten-free. She is so bummed. So she doesn't know yet, but this is going to her house tomorrow night for dinner. They invited me over, so I'm taking this over to Grant and Caitlin's house. So she'll be happy. Oh my goodness, our Kransekake is completed. I think it's a beauty. A few different tips for you guys on this cake. Make sure that you refrigerate your dough overnight or at least 8 hours, and I would definitely portion mine out. I portion mine out to 6 different portions just because that's how many pans there are, and keep them in the refrigerator before you bake them off. Fill a pan or 2 at a time and then put them in the refrigerator and then put them in the oven for 20 minutes. Exactly 20 minutes is how long it took mine. When you take them out, you can put them on cooling racks, and again, let them sit there for about 10 minutes and then slowly, gently take them off and put them on the cooling racks until they come to room temperature. And that's when you can start assembling this cake. I think it turned out great. It is delicious. And thank you so much for watching this video, you guys. It really does mean the world to me. If you're not yet subscribed, please consider doing so. It's quick and it's easy, but most importantly, it's totally free, and it really helps me a lot. If you're a returning subscriber coming back to watch another one of my videos, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you guys like this video, please give me a big old thumbs up. And if you have any comments, I would love to hear from you. Please leave those down in the comment section down below. I'm having an amazing day. I hope you are as well. Until next time, make it a great day. You'll need 1 pound of slivered almonds, 1/3 cup of whole natural almonds, 4 cups of powdered sugar, 3 egg whites, 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract, and 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla extract. And you'll also need the forms.